2025 completely rewired how SEO works. Between Google's AI overviews, the June core update, and millions of AI written articles, it's a different landscape than 2024. And because of that, a lot of people feel lost when it comes to SEO. But the good thing is there's a big opportunity in 2026 for the companies that really lean in on ranking on AI models. The companies that are using AI plus human-centric approaches are the ones that are going to thrive next year. In this video, we're going to talk through what's changed in SEO, but most importantly, how to make sure your website is ranking on Google, but now the different AI models. So first off, let's talk about the landscape heading into 2026. In June of 2025, Google released a huge update. Now their AI summaries are at the top of most queries, and that means a lot of people are seeing drops in traffic. At this point, about 70% of the people that see the AI summaries at the top never click into a website, mainly because they're getting their answer right there. Now the goal is, how do you get your website to be a cited source to where you at least get the visibility and the trustworthiness from users? The interesting thing though is being cited in the summaries at the top is a little bit different than just being one of the blue links below that. Now you have to make sure that you're speaking very human, you have well-structured data, and you have a lot of topical authority on your website. Used to, it was about making sure you had the right keywords, but now it's more about making sure you're answering the right questions. I hear a lot of people say SEO is dead, and I think that couldn't be further from the truth. It's not dead, it's just evolved. Now instead of just ranking, you have to be a trusted source online. Here's what the top performers in 2026 are doing differently when it comes to SEO. They're making sure they're using AI for scalability, but they're keeping the human approach. That means if you're writing articles or content for your website, you can generate 70% of the copy using an AI model. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure an actual human is going through that copy and making it sound like a real person. If an AI model detects it's completely AI generated copy, they're not going to think that's a trustworthy source. Now it's more important than ever that you're making sure you sound human online. I see a lot of people try to use completely AI generated content, and the AI models are smarter than that. You can use it to create content structures, and you can even do stuff like gap analysis with AI, but at the end of the day, you have to go back through and write it in a very human tone. Using AI is super helpful, but it's not the end game. Here's the 5 pillars of AI SEO that are going to work in 2026. Number 1 is answer engine optimization, AEO. Google's AI model is breaking down really complex questions into more bite-sized pieces. So you want to make sure you're answering the more micro questions. That means you need to optimize your website for micro answers. You can do this with FAQ schema and mini answers. So when you're writing content, you want to use phrases like why is or what's the best way to. That structure helps AI pick up on the topical nature of the content you're writing. Number 2, topical clusters still rule. Instead of chasing individual keywords, build clusters around a specific topic. That means you have one pillar page and all of your clusters are answering questions around that pillar. Number 3, schema and structured data. In 2026, schema is going to be the translator between human intent and AI understanding. You need to have schema like local business, how to, FAQ, article schema, and so on. That helps AI models easily digest what your website is all about. Number 4, brand footprint beyond Google. At this point, you have to be all over the internet. You need to have your Facebook page up to date, your YouTube, your Reddit, any other social medias, all linking back to your website. What that does is it shows this is a legitimate website that has a lot of reach across the internet. Number 5, freshness and voice matter. AI models are now re-ranking websites based on author tone and recency. That means you have to make sure you're keeping a very human tone with all the content on your website and that you're updating everything frequently. Here's what not to do in 2026. A big no-no, I don't want to say that, that sounds cheesy. Number 1, don't just generate a bunch of AI articles. It can be tempting to pump out 100 articles in a month, but if you're not putting that human twist, it's really just a waste of time and can also hurt you. The next thing would be ignoring engagement. AI models want to see people actually engaging with your website, and that means how far are they scrolling, are they clicking to other pages, and how much are they actually engaging with your website. If people are clicking in really quick and bouncing immediately, that doesn't look like a trustworthy source. The last thing is the human touch. At this point, everything needs to be human-centric. Do not sound like a robot on your website or any of the content you produce. So what do you do in 2026? We'll sum it up this way. AI for efficiency, humans for trust. That means leveraging AI tools to help you make more content and better content, but also keeping the real human aspect of your website alive. Content strategies have definitely changed, but the more human your website is, the better off you're going to be in 2026. The SEO game has definitely changed, but if your website stays very human-centric in 2026, you're going to be able to rank very high and be cited with the different AI models. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe and drop us a question if you have any. We'd be happy to cover any AI SEO topics in the future.